Please note that this content is for educational purposes and for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. More details available in the description box. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today's case takes us to Hawaii. I've wanted to cover this case for a while and finally we have a chance to talk about it. Please know that of course it does come with a trigger warning because it involves the death of a 3-year-old girl and also the abuse of her siblings. So some of her family members are saying that sadly her death is like saving the other children's lives because they are now in protective custody, right? They're with CPS. So it's a really difficult case to hear. Please know that. I'm going to read you a document. I'm going to show you some videos. I'll quickly show you the map as well before we dive into everything. Because today, as I say, we're going to Hawaii. And I was curious where in Hawaii. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go there. But it's here on the southwest side. And I'm going to try my best to pronounce things. Kakualani Loop, somewhere around that area, southwest side in Kapolei. That's where this case takes us to. Rando from Iowa, thank you for being a member for 27 months. Happy Grizzlyversary. Welcome to all my moderators, patrons, members, subscribers, and any locals in chat. If there are any locals in chat, please do let me know. I would love to know. And if you have any information to share with me about this case, or if there's anything that needs to be corrected or whatever it is, you can email me, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Thank you to everyone who is emailing me about other cases that I have been covering. I really appreciate everything that you're sending me. Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, before we dive into the document, because the document is very heavy, I'm first going to just show you some video clips just to prepare you. So you could brace yourself for what we're going to dive into. So let's look at this. This case, by the way, dates back to last year, 2024. It was in June of 2024. But at the end of Feb of this year, which wasn't too long ago, it was about 3 weeks ago now, mother and girlfriend were arrested. Let me show you what they look like. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so here's the mother, Janae Perez. She's 25 years old. And her girlfriend is Ashleigh Utley. And both of them have been arrested. And both of them face $1 million bond and very severe charges. There's also legislation now happening in Hawaii that's going to be in place so that it can, these cases where it's too late to save a child from abuse can stop, so that they can intervene sooner if they think that there's red flags or signs or something, right? Okay, so mother, girlfriend, let's hear what the news clips had to say. Sorry, let's do it like this. And let's put the sound on for you. Okay, so let's just watch a few clips first, little snippets from the press conferences that they've had as well, and then we'll dive into the document, which will be a deep dive.
10 HPD announces the arrest of 2 women in connection with the murder of a 3-year-old girl in Kapolei. Our Ben Gutierrez tells us how police were able to link the couple to the crime, and a warning: the details you're about to hear are disturbing.
It was last June when a little 3-year-old girl named Sarai died. She lived here in this apartment complex in Kapolei. Honolulu police allege that Sarai and her siblings had been starved and abused for years. And her mother is one of 2 women who are now arrested for suspicion of murder.
This case was initially classified as an unattended death. After investigation, additional testing, and medical information, this case was reclassified to murder in the 2nd degree.
The investigation began on June 13th of last year when officers and others responded to a report of an unresponsive child at a home on Kakualani Loop.
Upon arriving at the home, first responders found Sarai malnourished and pulseless, with ashen skin and bruises to her legs, hips, arms, face, back, and head.
Sarai was taken to the Queens Medical Center West, where she was pronounced dead.
Responding officers spoke with Janae Perez, Janae Perez, and who identified herself as Sarai's mother, and Ashleigh Utley, who identified herself as Janae's girlfriend.
Perez had 4 children and had taken the 2 older boys out of school, claiming they were being homeschooled. According to police, the couple blamed Perez's 5-year-old son for abusing Sarai and causing her death. But investigators say it wasn't his fault and that all 4 were being abused.
It has also been determined that Janae and Ashleigh would primarily hit the children with their hands, sticks, paddles, slippers, and belts.
Okay, so you can hear what we're going to be dealing with in the document. Also, what's so horrific about this case is that the mother and girlfriend blamed the 5-year-old brother for this little girl's death. And it's so heartbreaking to hear how he's processed that, to say, okay, he said to the police, so she went up, but is there food there? And they're like, why do you ask? And he said, because my mom said that Jesus doesn't have food. And I really hope that she has food up there. Shame. This poor 5-year-old. Oh my goodness. So there were 4 children in the home. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to the ages and all of the, believe me, the document is very detailed. I just wanted to just show you this before we dive into that, and also allow people to join the live stream and get ready for a deep dive. Susan Lewis says, so some serious physical abuse too. And oh man, did they minimize it? Of course, they're innocent until proven guilty, but yeah, blaming the other children, especially the 5-year-old, for this 3-year-old's death, literally saying the 5-year-old beat her up. I mean, and then detectives have surveillance footage, and they've got neighbors' reports, family reports, to help build their case, of course. And they're like, no, the 5-year-old did nothing wrong. That is so sad. Thank you so much, Susan, for the sticker. Yeah, Tracy says, shame, blame it on a 5-year-old. I know, right? And Janae's mom is suing the state for not listening, because we always say, see something, say something. Oh, she saw. And she was reporting her own daughter. Okay? And they didn't listen. They just couldn't do anything. They didn't listen, and now one of the children is dead. My goodness. Melissa says, oh, what, another one. Unfortunately, yes. Thank you for being a member for 4 months.
All parts of their body.
Investigators also examined Perez and Utley's cell phones and found videos showing the children barricaded in their bedrooms.
There was also disturbing video of Sarai crying and in severe discomfort and distress, saying that she had to use the bathroom and that she was thirsty. In response, Janae repeatedly yelled and swore at her.
HPD says the 3 remaining siblings were examined, all showing signs of abuse and neglect, and that Sarai died from dehydration and starvation.
Janae and Ashleigh failed to obtain medical treatment for Sarai and her siblings for multiple conditions, including lack of nutrition and bodily injury.
The 2 women now face several charges, including second-degree murder, kidnapping, endangering the welfare of a minor, and hindering prosecution.
That's a lot of charges, right? We're going to go over all that right now. Let me show you again. So this is the victim. This little girl died from being abused, it's completely preventable. I mean, from starvation and dehydration, and these children were so thirsty. They were begging for water. They would sneak out and get water in the night. It's so sad. Her body was covered in bruises as well. And yeah, her 3 siblings have survived, but I cannot imagine the trauma. So one more time, let me show you the defendants. Janae Perez, 25 years old, and her girlfriend, Ashleigh Utley, 33. They'd apparently been dating for about 4 years. So both of them have been arrested. I want to say thank goodness. Sometimes you might only see one arrested. Both have been arrested. Okay, so are we now ready to get all the details from, we've got more clips to look at later, but let's now have a look at this document because it is very detailed. And thank you to Grizzly Cat for helping me find this document. It's actually 150 pages long. And it's a little overwhelming, but then when I read through all of it at last, because I'm like, oh my word, I'm going to tackle this document, okay? It's a lot of repeats. It's actually kind of like repeated 4 times. So at least it's about 30 pages that we'll be reading together. So let's get the document going. I'm going to take them off the screen for now. I'll make it nice and big for you as well. So here they say District Court of the First Circuit. Of course, I'm going to keep the trigger warning up. So mods, if you can just remind everyone. You can see if I move this, there's a $1 million bond as well set for both. And their bond has been denied. There was a hearing recently where they obviously, they were begging to be let out, and that the judge denied. All right, so District Court of the First Circuit, let me just get my pointer. State of Hawaii, complaint, Detective David Takaki, warrant of arrest. You could see that was dated the 25th of Feb of 2025. The State of Hawaii, it says, you are hereby commanded on the information of Detective David Takaki, whose affidavit is attached here to and made part hereof, verified by oath, forward to arrest and take the body of Ashleigh Utley and Janae Perez. So Ashleigh Utley is the girlfriend. Janae Perez is the mother of the 4 children. Randa from Iowa says, yes, the second pronunciation, Sarai, I think it is. Okay. So, executed within the warrant on the person of Ashleigh Utley and Janae Perez. So we could see that that's why this is in the news recently, because they only finally now arrested them after a lengthy investigation, looking at all their cell phone data, obviously all their Google searches. Yes, there's a Walmart in this case, believe it or not. When I was reading, I'm like, really? There's even a Walmart in this case? Oh my goodness. So yes, Sarai. Thank you. Carol says, sorry, I meant Sarai. Okay, cool. Now, this is affidavit in support of warrant of arrest. Of course, as you know, because we've read a lot of documents here, right? They always first qualify the person who's writing the affidavit for all the experience and everything. And because this document is so long, I'm going to skip to the parts where they get into the details of this probable cause affidavit, right? Or the affidavit in support of a warrant of arrest. But basically, this detective has reason to believe that the offense of murder in the second degree, kidnapping, attempted assault in the second degree, kidnapping, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and hindering in the first degree have been committed, and that the perpetrators of said offences are Janae Perez and Ashleigh Utley. Murder in the second degree is a violation of all those sections, and you can see there, so I think they could face some serious jail time, prison time, if convicted, of course. They are innocent till proven guilty, but it sounds like the state's case is getting stronger in this one, right? Okay, so this is again as they are saying what the detective's experience is to qualify that he's written this affidavit. So on June 13th of 2024, affiant was assigned to further investigate what was originally classified as an unattended death documented under key HPD report number that occurred at Kekualani Loop in the Kapolei area located in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii. As a result of the aforementioned investigation, your affiant was further assigned to assist in the investigation under all of that. So based on the review of the HPD reports, interviews, and follow-up investigation, which resulted in the identification of the suspects in this case, this investigation has revealed the following facts, circumstances, and information to the best of my belief and knowledge. On June 13th, of 2024. Have you got your notebooks out? Take notes, everyone. Here we go. I'm going to do a bit of a timeline here. June 13th of 2024 at around 6:57 p.m., District 8 patrol officers responded to that Kekualani Loop unit on reports of an unresponsive person. Upon their arrival at the scene, personnel from the Honolulu Fire Department and personnel from the Emergency Medical Services were administering life-saving care to a 3-year-old female who was later identified as SP. So throughout the documents, obviously also to protect the identity of the other minors, they use only initials. So SP would be referring to the victim in this case, of course, Sarai Perez Rivera, 3 years old, all right? So they said 3-year-old female who was later identified as SP. 2020 EMS noted that SP was in cardiac arrest upon their arrival at the scene, was pulseless, and her skin was ashen. SP was transported to the Queen's Medical Center West at about 7:13 p.m., where she was pronounced deceased. Pronouncement of death was made on June 13th of 2024, same day at 7:44 p.m. by Dr. James Lonzanida, hereinafter Dr. Lonzanida. After pronouncement of death, SP's body was secured by Officer Dylan Benavente. Officer Ty Perkins also arrived on scene at about 6:57 p.m. and met with a female who was identified as the mother, Janae Perez, hereinafter Perez. Perez stated that on June 13th, 2024, at around 6 p.m., she was in her residence with her 4 children. I.P., who was 6 years old, E.P.R., who was 5 years old, S.P., who was 3, the victim, and P.P., who was 2 years old. So 6 years old, 5 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old. Young children experiencing horrific neglect and abuse based on what the detectives have found and based on the charges and what is alleged in this document. Okay? So, I mean, I just, trigger warning, brace yourself. It's very, very sad. Okay, so according to Perez, SP, IP, and E.P.R. were in their bedroom playing. Now, this is the mother's story. Are you ready? Because you're going to get upset. Like I've been upset every time I've been reading this. I'm like, what? Let's put them on the screen here. I hope this doesn't block any closed captioning if that's what you're following. The mother is on the left, the girlfriend's on the right, okay? According to Perez, SP, IP, and E.P.R. were in their bedroom playing when she heard SP suddenly say stop and could also hear things being thrown around inside the room. Perez walked into the room and saw E.P.R. punching and kicking SP while she was on the ground. Perez broke up the fight and escorted E.P.R. and SP outside into the living room. Perez put E.P.R. on timeout by making him sit down and face the wall. Perez put SP is the victim, on a pillow in the corner on the opposite side of the living room. You will later find out that this little girl was lying on a pillow in the corner on the opposite side of the room, and the little boy is relaying to police that, yeah, he could see her eyes were open, but she wasn't breathing. Like he could see his sister had died. But he was there, put in the same room. A lot of times, one of the older kids tried to run away before, and when they found him, they, trigger warning, beat the crap out of him in front of all the other kids. All the other kids were watching. It's like, what is wrong with these people? Oh my goodness. But immediately the cops are like, so what happened here? Okay, your 3-year-old is deceased. And she's like, okay, here's what happened. So I was just at home and I could just hear them in the room. And then, yeah, the 5-year-old, that's who did it. And she was trying to tell him to stop, but really? I mean, the victim blaming right off the bat. Can you believe it? Sure. Okay, so Perez left the children in the living room and walked into the kitchen to finish making dinner. While she was cooking dinner, Perez could hear SP talking in the living room. Just prior to 6:57 p.m., Perez could not hear SP talking, so she looked at her and observed SP was laying on the floor in the living room, not moving. Perez called out to SP, but SP did not respond. Perez went to check on SP, who's the victim, by the way, and observed SP was still not responding. Perez called 911 and requested for medical assistance. Perez further stated that E.P.R. has autism, which was not diagnosed. E.P.R. is regularly aggressive and physical with SP. Victim blaming. The police have said the 5-year-old did absolutely nothing wrong. Remember, the little girl who passed away, Sarai, was 3 years old. Okay? So there's a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old in the house. They blame the 5-year-old. And they're like, you know what? That 5-year-old, yeah, not diagnosed, but has autism and is very aggressive. Like, even that's just like so offensive, everything that they said, right? Oh my goodness. So, Officer Breeze Chan also arrived on scene and met with a female who was identified as Ashleigh Utley, who related that she was Perez's girlfriend of 4 years and lived with Perez and the children at the residence. Utley stated that on June 13th of 2024, that's the same day that Sarai died, at around 5:15 p.m., Utley arrived back in Honolulu from a work trip in Kona and was picked up from the Honolulu International Airport by Perez and all of the children. Utley further stated that on the way home, Perez told Utley that Sarai was not feeling good. My word. Perez told Utley that E.P.R., 2018, that E.P.R., the 5-year-old, beat up. So Perez immediately also told the girlfriend that story. Perez told Utley that E.P.R. beat up SP earlier in the day, but Utley disregarded Perez's statement because she figured that SP was sick, just as Utley was. Okay. Perez then made SP soup, trying to give SP water and tried comforting her because SP was not feeling good. We're going to go through the rest of this. I don't think they ever comforted these kids, okay? So just know that. Perez also tried to give Sarai medicine through a syringe, but SP did not take it. As Perez was making dinner, SP was whining in the corner of the living room. A short time later, SP stopped whining these two say, yeah, these kids are whiners. They really speak so highly of them. Wow. You know? So they say stopped whining and was laying on the floor, at which point Perez went to check on her and began screaming that SP was not breathing. Perez was instructed on how to do CPR on SP and stated she was doing CPR until first responders arrived. Now, the way that they worded that, stated that she was she though? I'm like, I don't know if she was. Officer Dylan Benavente also responded in conjunction with this case. However, he was assigned to respond to the Queen's Medical Center West at approximately 7:16 p.m. on June 13th of 2024. Officer Benavente's assignment was to obtain photos of SP's injuries at the hospital. Upon entering emergency room 3, Officer Benavente observed that Sarai had dark bruising throughout her body. Officer Benavente observed the injuries to her, which were bruising on both of her legs, bruising to her left abdominal area, bruising to her right cheek, and bruising to her buttocks. Yeah, Objection Cake says, whining? Oh, my snarky pants are on. They better be. This case is definitely worth all the snark. So the 3 other children were transported to the hospital for treatment. IP was treated for extreme dehydration and was later released in good condition. And E.P.R, the 5-year-old, was admitted for extreme dehydration and a plump heart. When asked if the residents had cameras, Perez informed Officer Perkins that the only camera was the one on the front door, but it was facing outside the residence. That, we'll find out, was a lie. Okay? Right. Okay, so on scene, on June 13th of 2024 at approximately 10:27 p.m., now this one is very difficult. I want to say it wrong. Detective Kaiminao, Detective Mead and your FN conducted a digitally recorded interview with Perez. I'd love to see that. Yeah, can we get some police video interviews? Can we see that yet? They don't have it out yet, but we can always try those FOIA requests because that would be interesting to see probably those lies. Okay, so interview, and in response to questioning regarding the legal guardianship of the children, she stated that she's the biological parent of all the children in her household. Perez has full custody of IP, E.P.R, and SP. Per Perez, Utley is listed as a parent on PP 2021's birth certificate. I wonder why that is. I think that would be the youngest, which is the 2-year-old. Utley lives in the house full-time with Perez and all the children. Yeah, and now they're both arrested. Regarding IP, Perez stated, so IP is one of the siblings, all right? Just in case you're not following. So I think IP is the 6-year-old. Regarding IP, Perez stated the following. IP was in 1st grade at a nearby elementary school when Perez withdrew him from school sometime in November of 2023. Perez stated that she was homeschooling IP with the elementary school curriculum and that she was doing it daily during the school hours. She further stated the curriculum was not online and referred to it as paper stuff. Isn't that just trustworthy language? She's like, yeah, there was some kind of paper stuff. Right, but could not produce IP schoolwork. Perez also admitted that she was supposed to do an assessment thing. Again, wow, very official. An assessment thing at the end of the year, but admitted that she did not follow up with any of the end-of-year assessments or testing for IP's homeschooling. Regarding E.P.R, the 5-year-old, Perez stated that E.P.R was withdrawn from school sometime in January of 2024 to be homeschooled. In regards to E.P.R's born 2018, homeschooling, Perez did not have a set curriculum, and she said she used the same curriculum that she used for IP. So basically didn't school them at all. No homeschooling was done, okay? There was no paper stuff, and there was no assessment thing happening. She just took them out of school. That's what I'm gathering. Are you as well? My goodness. So, Perez stated that the 2 oldest children, IP and E.P.R, were removed from school because, and listen to this, because family transportation made it just too difficult to keep them in school. Specifically, that she usually dropped off and picked up Utley from work and school, and it was easier to maintain everyone's schedule if they were all together. Meaning the girlfriend was the priority and the kids were really not. It was just too much effort, to take them to school. Especially with 2 of them going to school and the other 2 at home. Nah, they should just all stay in the house. Or what? Oh my goodness. So, okay. So then it says, Perez stated that she and Utley did nothing. They did nothing to cause harm to Sarai or any other children and did not cause SP's death. Well, grand jury indictment disagrees. Detectives disagree. Okay, after the recorded interview, and because Perez had stated they were having issues with scheduling and taking the children to school, Detective Mead researched how long it would take for Perez to drop the children off at school. A Google Maps, and there we go, they did some map time, of the time and distance showed that it would take approximately, guys, a whole 3 minutes. It would take 3 minutes, okay, to travel the 0.6 miles from their house to the children's former elementary school. But that was just too much to ask. 3 minutes to drop them off at school and even like pick them up again. I don't think so. Wow. During the recorded statement with Perez, Perez is the mother, I'm just reminding you, Janae Perez. Perez gave her written consent, nice, to have her cellular phone forensically analyzed for any information regarding SP's death. On June 13th of 2024, while on scene, Detective Blake Davidson conducted a digitally recorded interview with Utley, the girlfriend, who stated that she and Perez have been together for about 4 years and lived at the residence together with all the children. And she said, referencing all 4 children as being both our kids. On June 13th of 2024, Utley woke up at 3 a.m. because she had to be at the airport at 5 a.m. to fly to Kona for work. Laura W. says, thanks for all your great analyses recently, G. The kitties need more treats. Thank you so much. Do they? They're very spoiled. Don't worry, I will give them more treats. Thank you so much. Okay, so on June 13th, Utley, that's the day that Sarai died. So on that day, the girlfriend says she woke up at 3 a.m. because she had to be at the airport at 5 a.m. to fly to Kona for work. Utley stated that Sarai had been sick for a week prior to the incident, and Utley reported having a cold. They did not take SP to the hospital because it was a waste of time. I mean, again, you can hear the narrative, eh? They didn't take her to the hospital, and their reason is like straight out to the cops saying, because it was a waste of time. So Perez just gave SP 5 milliliters of Tylenol. I don't trust the 5 mils either. I think it was probably a little bit more than that. I'm just speculating, based on other cases. Oh my word. Perez picked up Utley from the airport at around 5:15 p.m. That's about 2 hours before Sarai died. And Perez told Utley that SP was not feeling well and did not eat all day. While in the car, Utley noticed that SP was whining on the car ride home, was tired and did not want to eat. Utley referred to SP as a whiner. The girlfriend referred to 3-year-old Sarai as a whiner and said that she was coughing, but the cough was not concerning. Utley stated that Perez tried to give SP water during the ride home, but she told Perez, no, she can wait until she gets home. Wow. So Perez tried to give SP water during the ride home, but she told Perez, no, she can wait until she gets home. So it sounds to me like the girlfriend had quite the boot camp mentality, you know? I'm not minimizing anything the mother did. The mother's like, based on what we know, fully to blame. But damn, it sounds like this, you know, this mentality we see of stop whining, stop needing more water, stop asking to go to the toilet, stand in the corner, all of that, right? Okay. So Perez informed Utley that E.P.R was beating SP. So the 5-year-old, Perez, the mother says to the girlfriend that the 5-year-old was beating Sarai throughout the day and related that E.P.R was normally very aggressive to SP. I think that's a story they both decided to stick to. Again, I'm speculating. Utley related that she knew SP was not feeling good because the day prior, Perez was carrying SP because SP did not want to walk. Right. Utley stated that after they arrived home at about 6 p.m., E.P.R was put on timeout and was made to sit and face the wall in the living room, and SP laid on the pillow on the opposite side of the living room. A short time later, Perez noticed that SP was not breathing and started screaming for Utley to call 911. The mother's asking the girlfriend to call 911. Utley further informed Detective Davidson that Perez's mother made a frivolous complaint. So the girlfriend saying, you know what? The mother of the children's, so basically her potential mother-in-law, Ashleigh's potential mother-in-law, right? The mother of Janae, made a frivolous complaint to Child Welfare Services because she believed that Perez and Utley were not feeding the children. And she was right. And she called CWS, Child Welfare Services, multiple times. And she's now suing the state because she's like, you didn't listen. I told you. When I saw these children, they were more hungry than any children I've ever seen. They were more thirsty. They are not okay. They are extremely thin. There's something wrong. Red flag. I'm reporting my daughter. And they didn't listen. That's very sad. Oh my word. So she's very upset. But the girlfriend again saying, wow, her mother made a frivolous report. Okay. Sounds like the evidence matched that frivolous report. Utley, the girlfriend, related that they used to spank the children as discipline, but they no longer use physical discipline on the children. Oh, really? Utley stated that now she and Perez discipline the children by using timeouts and by feeding the children fish and sauerkraut. Basically, because when I first read that, I'm like, what? But they fed them the food that they hated the most. Things that they really didn't want to eat, which is very sadistic as well. You know, it's not for their health. They're not doing it. I mean, fish and sauerkraut's actually very healthy, but they're not doing it for that. It's like, yeah, as punishment. Timeouts and feeding the children fish and sauerkraut. On June 14th of 2024, Perez and Utley's came to the police station for a follow-up interview. Perez dropped Utley off at the front entrance and officers observed Perez to be in possession of a cellular phone. Officers approached Perez and requested her to come and speak to the detective Mead. Officers also requested if Perez could bring the cellular phone that they saw in her possession of, and Perez responded by saying she didn't have a cell phone. Like, they literally saw her drop the girlfriend off and they saw her on a phone and they're like, we're going to need that phone as well. She's like, I didn't have one. I didn't have a phone with me. What do you mean? They're like, hand it over. On June 14th of 2024 at about 2:48 p.m., Detective Mead conducted a digitally recorded follow-up interview with Perez. Again, we want to see that. At the Allapie police station, Perez stated that on the day of the incident, she fed Sarai lunch at around 12 p.m. and said the lunch was cream of chicken soup. E.P.R, the 5-year-old, was grounded, so Perez stated that she fed him mackerel in a can and sauerkraut in a can. IP had a military-style MRE for lunch because they like it, which is that military ready meal, right? Oh, my word. And saying because they like it. Really? Oh, my word. Okay, are you guys still following? It's quite a lengthy document. We're on page 9, okay? I might show you a little video in between just to give us a break from the document. But I find documents very detailed with, it's just all the details we'd want to know, right? More than what we can get from like a little video clip or something. So I hope that you enjoy document time with me because I certainly like reading these to you and giving you all the facts. So after lunch, Perez heard E.P.R yelling, so she went to the room and saw him whacking SP with an open and closed hand, just blaming the 5-year-old. Perez estimates that it was approximately 7 or 8 times. Perez stated that SP just sat there because she doesn't usually do anything and she'll just take it. My word, that's horrifying. Perez stated that usually SP is not very physical. On the way to the airport, E.P.R was hitting SP's feet, causing her to complain. Perez estimated SP was hit about 5 times. After picking up Utley, the family went back to the residence. SP did not want to walk and just wanted Perez to carry her. Right. No, I don't believe that. Perez also noticed bruises to SP's thigh, specifically 3 marks which happened when E.P.R whacked SP with a pole to her leg. With regards to E.P.R's general water intake, so now that they're focusing on the 5-year-old and blaming the 5-year-old brother for his sister's death and saying that the brother is the one who inflicted all this abuse on this little girl, which the police are saying, no, it isn't. Based on all the evidence they have, it was these 2. So how sick is it to blame the 5-year-old? Okay, but now on top of that, they're going to degrade him a little bit as well. They say, with regards to E.P.R's general water intake, Perez stated that he urinates in his pants, so they monitor his drinking and he wears a pull-up. When asked how much he drinks, Perez said he's allowed 2 16-ounce bottles that they have outside, and then a nutritional milkshake if he does not urinate in his pants. Perez also added that there's also water in his food. Oh my word, they're literally like, well, if he's thirsty, there's water in his food. Because all food contains water. Really? I don't know. Sauerkraut and mackerel. Not very hydrating, you know? Sir Bald and Snarky, thank you for being a member for 16 months. You said best true crime on a channel on YouTube. Best Mars, really happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. It's always great to see you. Yeah, so literally, and then a nutritional milkshake if he does not urinate in his pants. And then they also added, yeah, don't worry, there's also water in his food. Perez denied having anything to do with SP's death and stated that Utley did not have anything to do with it either. When asked if there was anything that she did as a parent that contributed to SP's death, Perez stated that maybe if she wasn't eating her food. So literally blaming the victim. The child who died of starvation and dehydration, they asked the mother, do you think that there's any possibility that you could have anything to do with her death? And she's like, well, maybe if she didn't eat her food. Perez explained that she was actually just grounded and that they gave the children fish and sauerkraut when they are grounded, but SP would not really eat it, so she had to feed it to SP, which again sounds like the paper stuff and the assessment things, and just like, yeah, I fed her. I don't think any of that happened, right? Stay Awesome says, why do you think there's a growing number of situations like this? I think there's more growing awareness of situations like this, which I think is a great thing, right? Just remember, you tune into true crime all the time, especially if you're here, because I'm live on most days of the week. So there's just, I think we're just way more aware of these cases, which again, I say that's good so that people can learn, so that these can be prevented, hopefully. If you see something, say something and say it again and again and again. Unfortunately, Janae's mother did say again and again and again, and she's suing the state because they didn't listen. Monica B, thank you so much. All right, so Perez stated that the incident happened with a grounding sometime on Sunday, and that it was all of their meals for the day if they are still acting up. Perez believes that that day, SP got all 3 meals. All 3 meals were fish and sauerkraut? Because she was not really eating it? Perez denied administering any excessive physical discipline by her or Utley or on any of the children. Detective Kendall Wong and Officer Aston Koki processed Perez's vehicle and recovered an iPhone wedged in between the front passenger seat and the center console. Wow, so well hidden. Smart, these two. The cellular phone was later secured in a Faraday box with the Criminal Investigation Division. Detective Wong called phone number, and they've redacted part of it, of course, and observed the phone recovered in the vehicle was ringing. Perez had previously told Detective Mead that that number was her phone number. On June 14th of 2024, which is the day after Sarai had died, your affiant conducted a digitally recorded follow-up interview with Utley at the Allapai police station. When asked if the children were denied of food, Utley stated, hell no, do you see our cabinets? We have a lot of food. But all the children were severely underweight. They absolutely, based on the allegations, denied them food. Or gave them sauerkraut and fish, which these little children did not want to eat. So when asked if it was fed to them, Utley stated yes. She further stated that in the morning, they all come out at the same time. She talks about them as if they're like pets, like dogs. They all come out at the same time. They have a routine, which includes waiting by the gate, and then they can grab their bowl one at a time. You see what I mean? Like, lady, this is not the SPCA. We love animals. We want all animals to be treated so well. But the way that it's like, yeah, they were just waiting at the gate and brought out their bowls and they just grabbed it one at a time. What? Like, these are little humans? What are you doing? When asked if there were any surveillance cameras in the house, Utley stated that there was a camera in the bedroom. So now it's the mother said there was just one by the front door. Now the girlfriend says there was one in the bedroom, but E.P.R, the 5-year-old, broke the switch to the electricity in that room and the bathroom for a long time. Eventually it was fixed. Utley stated that the camera had not been operational for a long time, approximately 1 year. Here comes Walmart, everyone. When asked who installed it, Utley stated that we both did and that it came from Walmart, but that she did not know the brand of camera or system that it was. However, Utley eventually stated that they had 2 different cameras at one point and that she believed it to be a Roku camera. Utley claimed that the only active camera was at the front door of the house and that HPD took it the night SP passed away. With regards to accessing the camera, Utley stated that she did not have a subscription because it was mainly there to scare people since her neighbor had gotten robbed. Utley stated that she accessed the camera on an application and could take screenshots of whatever she viewed from the camera, but that she did not have a password for the camera account and did not have the account anymore because she deleted the application. During the interview, Utley provided a written consent to search to have the cell phone she was in possession of to be forensically analyzed. Utley then handed the cell phone, an unknown colored iPhone SE in a dark colored case, to your affiant, and the phone was transferred to Detective Thomas Lenuma, hereinafter Detective Lenuma. Okay, so let me just take a quick break here. We're on page 11 and show you another clip or so, just so that we can break it up a little bit and then we'll carry on. So have a look at this clip here. Wait, let me first boost it just in case. I think we need a bit of a boosted sound. Okay. Here we go.
Prosecutors have charged the two women arrested yesterday in connection with the death of a 3-year-old girl last year. Court documents released today show that police discovered a history of abuse involving all the women's children. We warn you, some of the details in this report may be disturbing. Stephen Farino has details.
Janae Perez and Ashleigh Utley make their first appearance in court for several charges, including murder.
So that's Ashleigh Utley, the girlfriend, and here was the mother. This article saying that she was like shaking her head and being really rude in the courtroom when she had to appear in court, saying like, no, I didn't. When they said that she abused the children and beat the children, all that, she's like, no. So she's got some attitude in the courtroom apparently, right?
In court for several charges, including murder, kidnapping, assault, and endangering the welfare of a minor, all in connection with the death of Perez's 3-year-old daughter last June.
We have really just seen the worst parts of society through these cases. And it's things that really, I couldn't even mention specifics on the air, mostly because it's just so indecent and it's so tragic.
Court documents say a neighbor's security camera from the night the girl died shows video of Perez carrying the girl to and from the parking lot. Both times, the girl appeared motionless. The medical examiner says the cause of death, combined effects of dehydration and starvation. Doctors say she was short and underweight for her age, ranking in just the 3rd percentile. They say the girl had bruises and there were signs suggesting she was denied use of a toilet and access to hygiene. Court documents go on to show a history of mistreatment from the women to all 4 of Perez's biological children, including denying food and water. The most graphic comes from a woman who lived with the pair for about 9 months in 2023. In an interview with police, she claims Utley and Perez would mainly whack the kids with their hands, but also hit the children with sticks and paddles. The woman said the pair beat the oldest boy when he tried to run away from home. She said Utley and Perez dragged the boy inside, beat him. Utley used a long stick and a screwdriver. Perez used a short 2x4 to whack him on the legs and arms, all as the other children watched from their rooms.
It's horrifying and makes me really angry. So it's one reason that that we moved this bill forward to try to to have adequate punishment for people who do horrendous stuff like this.
Right now, under Hawaii law, abuse of a family or household member is a misdemeanor. So attorneys say the most severe cases of abuse can't be prosecuted until it's too late. But there are bills at the legislature to change that.
These specific charges of torture and starvation are important because it really sheds light on what's going on in our community, and it enables law enforcement to intervene at an earlier stage. And hopefully, the intent is to save lives of children.
Bail is set for $1 million for both Perez and Utley. A preliminary hearing set for Tuesday.
Okay, so that preliminary hearing already happened and they were denied bail. So we've got that update. I quickly want to show you one more, then we're going to go back to the document, which I just want to find it. So judge denies bail. Yeah, okay, here we go. Utter failure. Grandmother of murdered toddler sues state over handling of child abuse reports. Sorry, I've just got to resize it for us the whole time. Wait 1 second. Okay. The grandmother of a Kapolei 3-year-old who died from alleged abuse and neglect is suing the state, claiming it failed to act upon reports to child welfare services. Sarai Perez Rivera's mother, Janae Perez, 26, and her girlfriend, Ashleigh Utley, 34, and they were reported as 25 and 33, but okay. 26 and 34 did they just have a birthday? Are charged with the murder of Perez and abuse of her 3 siblings. All were under the age of 6 years old at the time. The attorney for Lee Schnabel says that his client wants the Department of Human Services to be held accountable and protect her remaining grandchildren. Schnabel claims that the state was aware of concerns about the 4 children's welfare 4 months before Sarai's death. And the autopsy confirms her worst fears. This must be terrible for the grandmother. You know, that would be Janae's mother, so the grandmother of the kids, seeing something and repeatedly saying something. And this must be so devastating to know that, yes, one of the children died from exactly what she feared worst: dehydration, starvation. Oh, man. The medical examiner's autopsy supports what HPD investigators reported. Sarai died on June 13th of last year from severe dehydration and starvation due to the deliberate withholding of food and water. She also had several blunt force injuries on her body, including her head and face. Perez and Utley are being held at the, I don't know how to say that one right, at the Community, OAHU, Community Correctional Center without bail after being indicted on 5 felony charges, including murder. So now it must have been upgraded to without bail because it was $1 million each. Okay, after being indicted on 5 felony charges, including murder, assault, and kidnapping. Schnabel, that's the grandmother of the children's lawsuit, claims that in February of 2024, concerned family members called the Child Welfare Services hotline to report the Perez children were removed from the school, appeared dirty and uncared for, and appeared to be skinny and losing weight. It also says that family members reported the same concerns in March and May to child advocacy groups, parents, and children together. We're not talking about somebody who was assaulted once by a parent and fell down, hit her head and died. This is something that took time, said attorney Mark Gallagher. Whatever CWS did was ineffective. It did not prevent this. We don't know exactly what it is that they did or tried to do at this point in time, as the suit was only just filed, but what we can say is there was an utter failure. There's 1 child dead, 3 others taken out of the home and placed into foster care, and the mother now charged with homicide. Okay, so in a statement to HNN, the State Department of Human Services said it continues to grieve with the community over the loss of this child. DHS cannot comment on pending litigation. The department will respond to any pending litigation in court with the assistance and representation of the Department of the Attorney General. And I will link this article for you as well. So now that we've watched that and read a bit as well about somebody that did see something and did say something, let's continue with our document deep dive here. It's quite lengthy, as I say. We're on page 11 and we're reading about up to page 28 or so. The whole document is 150 pages long. I will post this to Patreon. Today there's a public post on the free tier. It's available for all tiers, and there I was alerting everyone, of course, notifying everyone that I'm going live. So if you want reliable notifications, that would be one way to get that, right? And on that post, after this live stream, I will attach this document for you in case you want to read it yourself as well, because it's 150 pages. As I said, there's a lot of information repeated. So from me scanning through it a few times, we're going to read up to about page 28, right? And Stefan says, G, Oahu is the name of the island. Oh, thank you so much. I just don't want to say it wrong, okay? Don't laugh at me. I want to do my best. Thank you so much. Oahu. Thank you. I'll try. Now, we were here on page 51. Page 11, point number 51. On June 15th, so it's 2 days after Sarai died. Okay, she died on June 13th of 2024, and she was only 3 years old. This case took place in Hawaii. So if anyone's here now, you're only joining now, that's the case we're looking at, where her mother and the mother's girlfriend have been arrested. And they've got many charges, including second-degree murder and kidnapping and, being charged for all the abuse and neglect and everything. So that's what we're looking at. On June 15th of 2024, Detective Lenuma forensically analyzed the cell phone that Utley, the girlfriend, provided a copy of the data to Detective Wong. Let me put up the picture again so that you can see who's who. The mother is on the left, Janae Perez, the mother of all 4 children, and the girlfriend, Ashleigh Utley, 33, on the right, right? Okay. Detective Wong observed that the cell phone that Utley provided was attached to her cell phone number. The Apple ID appeared to be attached to her work email from HES. Detective Wong also related that the data contained within the cell phone appeared to be mostly business related. In the first phone that Perez had given over and claimed was hers, the number was stored as a contact name My Work Phone HES. While being escorted to the front of the station, Utley asked where Perez was, and Lieutenant Dina Thomas informed Utley that Perez was providing a follow-up interview to your affiant. Utley became more agitated and uttered, "All I know wasn't me. I'm not going down for this." The girlfriend is like, so where is Janae? And they're like, oh, your girlfriend's doing a follow-up interview. And she's like, oh, hell no, I'm not going down for this. Like, wow, okay. I told the detective I will polygraph. While waiting for Perez at the front of the police station, Strategic Enforcement Detail Officer Riley Borges was stopped by Utley. Utley informed Officer Borges that she had information on a murder. Oh, whoa. Wow. She will turn on her girlfriend just like that, eh? She's like, that's it, I have information on a murder. Officer Borges asked Utley why she used the word murder, and Utley stated that she wanted to add information to her statement. Officer Borges apprised Detective Meade and your affiant about Utley's request, and Officer Borges escorted Utley back to the Criminal Investigation Division to provide a statement. However, Utley then became combative and uncooperative and did not give a further statement. All bark, no bite, literally like, I'm going to give a statement. I'm going to talk about a murder that occurred. I'm not going down for this. And then when they put her in the interview room, she refuses to talk. Like, that must be so annoying. Oh my word. Positive Vibe says, please put your DNA on that like button. Thank you so much. Okay, so on June 14th, 2024 at about 9 p.m., Utley, then the girlfriend again, contacted your affiant twice via cell phone. Utley again informed your affiant that she had information on the murder of Sarai, and arrangements were made to meet with Utley on June 15th of 2024 at the Alibi police station. Utley did come to the police station, and now the second time here, she ultimately refused to give an interview. Like, what the hell? She's like, you know what? I'm gonna call these detectives over and over and over again. But I'm just when I'm in the interview room, yeah, I'm not gonna tell them anything. Wow. On June 15th of 2024, Detective Meade conducted a digitally recorded interview with Perez's biological sister, Tori, at the Alibi police station. Tori is the biological sister of the mother of the children, and she's 18 months younger than Perez. Tori stated that she last saw the children at a Christmas party in December of 2023, and the children looked skinny, quiet, shy, which was different from any other time that she saw the children. Tori observed that they were eating so much food, especially or specifically the victim, Sarai, and that she was asking for more food. This upset Perez, and she began to say, why are you acting like you're starving? So the mother of the children is like all embarrassed now, that like, why are you all eating like that? Okay, behave yourselves. Wow. Tori, the sister of Janae, observed that all the children, except PP 2021, looked like they had lost weight and were skinny, and IP had a bruise on his hands. Tori stated that after the Christmas party, she was alarmed because Sarai was eating so much, and Perez's reaction to them eating so much was concerning. She stated that when they were leaving, the children kept asking to come with them and stay at their house, and Perez became upset. Tori further stated that Perez and Utley told her that since IP started talking, he would tell stories, and then they took him out of school. Oh my word. With regards to surveillance cameras in the house, Tori recalled Perez having cameras all over the house. So Janae's sister is like, no, they had cameras all over the house, okay, including multiple ring-style surveillance cameras mounted in different rooms throughout Perez's residence, to include the kitchen, the living room, and the children's bedroom, and Perez was able to talk through the cameras. Tori, again, just reminding you, Janae's sister, related to one of the last conversations with Utley on Instagram, involved a surveillance video that Utley sent her from inside the residence. Tori showed Detective Meade the video, and he observed IP mopping the floor in the living room of the residence. Perez then walked through the area that IP was mopping and slipped and fell to the ground. Tori stated that she knows the cameras were working recently because the video was date stamped from March of 2024. When asked if she had ever seen the 5-year-old beating up the 3-year-old, Tori related that the 5-year-old E.P.R is not aggressive. She's never seen him be aggressive while in her presence, and that she does not believe that E.P.R is even strong enough to beat up Sarai to the point of being unconscious. On June 15th of 2024, your affiant conducted a digitally recorded interview with Leah Schnabel. We just read that article about her. That's the grandmother, right? At the Alibi police station. Schnabel is the biological mother of Perez and the biological grandmother of the 4 children, the one who's suing the state. In late 2022 and early 2023, Schnabel began to worry about the children. I mean, that's long before Sarai died. Sarai died in June of 2024. So this grandmother was already getting very worried from early on. Schnabel began to worry about the children when she saw them. Schnabel also noticed that the 3 older children looked skinny and their personalities changed. From that point forward, Schnabel said that she barely saw the children. Schnabel stated that there was always an excuse. Either Utley would be sick or Utley had cancer. So now they're saying it like this in quotes. The police are not believing that she had cancer. That's just another story that was thrown in there, which is pretty weird. With regards to SP, Schnabel stated that Perez told her that Sarai had a disability and that she thought that Sarai had dwarfism. Isn't it what a lovely mother, hey? Doesn't she speak so well of her kids? What? Like, she will blame the kids, she will shame the kids, she will humiliate them, she will armchair diagnose them, she will everything but care for them based on what we know so far. She's innocent until proven guilty. It's just based on these allegations in this document, okay? Utley would also call Schnabel quite a bit and say that the children were throwing up and had diarrhea. Schnabel told her that it sounded like they were dehydrated. Schnabel next saw the children in September of 2023, and the 3 older children were skinnier than she had previously seen and appeared lethargic. When Schnabel, the grandmother, asked Perez about the children's demeanor, Perez responded that the children just woke up from a nap. During the visit, Schnabel also noticed that the 5-year-old was downing water. Schnabel began to ask what was happening, and Perez told her that it was the medication that he was on. Schnabel next saw the children in October of 2023 when she went to Perez's house. Schnabel, the grandmother, noted that Utley's teenage daughter, MK, so the girlfriend has a teenage daughter, okay, was visiting Perez and Utley at the residence. Schnabel made a comment to Perez about the house smelling clean, and Perez informed her it was because she made IP, the 6-year-old, clean the bathrooms. Schnabel stayed for dinner and observed the 3 older children to be abnormally eating a lot, and they appeared to be skinny. Schnabel remembered Perez being rude and mean to the 3 older children and monitoring their food intake. Schnabel also remembered the 3 older children drinking water heavily, and Perez trying to monitor the amount of water that the children were drinking. Schnabel next saw the children in December of 2023 at a family Christmas party and observed the 3 older children to be skinnier, and SP, Sarai, the victim who passed away, looked very tired. She also observed that the children, especially E.P.R and SP, were eating a lot as if they were famished. Schnabel last saw all of the children in February of 2024 at a Valentine's family party. She remembered when Perez, Utley, and the children walked into the residence, Perez immediately made a plate of food for Utley. The mother walked in and made a plate of food for her girlfriend. Then requested Perez to make him a plate, and Perez responded by saying, okay, so the children, they walked into the residence, Perez made a plate of food for Utley, and then IP, the 6-year-old, then requested Perez to make him a plate of food, and the mother responded by saying, "What? You're so effing irritating." And that was at a party. That's a Valentine's family party. Can you imagine what went on behind closed doors? Schnabel noted again the 3 older children were skinny, hungry, and that they were extremely quiet and stayed close to Perez the entire time. After speaking with family about her observations, Schnabel made checks of the children's schooling and found out that IP and E.P.R were withdrawn from school towards the end of 2023. Schnabel remembered having a previous conversation with IP about school, and IP lied to her about still attending school. Extremely concerned for their children's well-being, Schnabel went to Perez's residence to check on the children a few days later. So they put fear in the children. You better keep this a secret that you've been taken out of school. If anybody asks, you just tell them you're still in school, okay? Schnabel informed Utley that she was concerned about the children's well-being and asked where IP and E.P.R were. Utley responded by saying the children were in school, which clearly they were not. They were probably locked in a room in there somewhere. After this interaction, Schnabel, the grandmother, related Perez then prevented her from seeing the children. Schnabel related that she then reported Perez her own daughter. The grandmother went straight to Child Welfare Services and reported her daughter and the girlfriend, and she said she did so as an anonymous neighbor over her concerns about the children's well-being. She saw something, she said something. On June 14th of 2024, a forensic interview was conducted with IP. the 6-year-old, who stated that he never goes outside the house because E.P.R, the 5-year-old, urinates in his pants and because his auntie Utley is at work. Shame. The 6-year-old is like, I don't ever go outside because, like, my brother, yeah, he pees his pants and then the auntie's at work. I mean, shame. That's what they would tell him. You can't go outside for these dumb reasons. Okay. IP stated the injury on his hand was from Perez hitting him with a belt on the back because he was not listening. My word. So trigger warning, if you're only joining now, this case is very upsetting. It involves the neglect, abuse, starvation of children. Okay. All the children were under the age of 6 at the time. And the 3-year-old Sarai died in June of 2024, June 13th of 2024. If your chat ever crashes, then just, it's a YouTube issue, just refresh your feed, okay? I'm just letting you know because it does happen lately. Mine just crashed and I'm just refreshing it. There we go. I see you all again. Okay, so IP was hit with a belt at night and Utley and E.P.R saw him get hit with a belt. So the girlfriend and the 5-year-old were made to watch him get hit with a belt? What? Per IP, the belt buckle accidentally wrapped around him and punctured his hand, causing it to bleed. IP then clarified that Perez hit him with the belt because he drank water when he was not supposed to. These idiots were like, no, you can't have water. You can't have water. You can't have that. So the kids are like trying to sneak around at night, desperate just to have some water. IP pointed out an injury on his knee and said he fell because his legs were too tired and hurting. IP related this happened in the early morning when they were taking Utley to work. IP said he kept it a secret from Schnabel that he was being homeschooled because Utley, the girlfriend of the mother, told him that being homeschooled was a secret. IP said that he was homeschooled because he was doing bad stuff like sneaking out of the house. He explained that he snuck out of the house because he wanted to go to school. Shame! No, man. This is bad. These poor kids. He just wanted to sneak out either. He wanted to either just sneak out of the room to get some water or to sneak out just because he so much wanted to go to school. After that incident where he snuck out, Perez beat him up with a belt on the back because he snuck out of the house. IP said he got a scratch on his back of his legs from when Perez hit him with a belt. On June 16th of 2024, a follow-up forensic interview was conducted with IP. IP stated that with regards to discipline, this is the 6-year-old, when he gets in trouble, then Utley or Perez will tell him to face the wall. With regards to how E.P.R, the 5-year-old, is disciplined, IP stated that Perez would hit him with a belt and slap him with a belt on his back. Hard. IP stated that E.P.R would cry when this happened because he was really hurt. IP also stated that being homeschooled was a secret and that Perez had told him to keep homeschooling a secret when they were at a family party during Christmas. When asked what he did on a regular day when he was homeschooled, IP stated that he would stay in his room but would not do school. SP and E.P.R would also not do school. IP stated that he, E.P.R and SP get tiny vitamins that taste like strawberry to help them sleep. Now what the hell is that? Right? What is it? Does anyone know what that is? What kind of medication are they giving them? Tiny vitamins that taste like strawberry to help them sleep. My word. Regarding the day that SP died, IP stated that he, his siblings and Perez went to pick up Utley from the airport. Because they have a Nissan, the 3 of them sat in the seats and E.P.R sat on the ground. During the ride, SP, the victim Sarai, who passed away, was sleeping, lying down and whimpering. IP described the noise that she was making as weird and suffering. Anna G, thanks for being a member for 4 months. And you guys are answering the question, maybe melatonin gummies? I wonder. I hope it's only something like that. You know what I mean? Melatonin, maybe. Yeah, you guys are saying gummies, melatonin, chewable melatonin, maybe. Possibly that. Up and growing, thank you so much. Jane says that's berry-flavored melatonin. Okay. So, shame. These poor siblings, they were like, yeah, my sister was making weird noises, like she was suffering and whimpering. When it was almost nighttime, his mom was making dinner. She went out to check on Sarai, who was lying on the ground because she was sick. IP stated that then Sarai died because she was so sick. IP further stated he was so sad. With regards to the days prior to Sarai dying, IP stated that the last days he felt hungry, and that on the day that Sarai died, he was super hungry. For a drink, they only drank water, and that he was always thirsty, but he didn't know why. IP stated that they were not given water until they were done eating, and that it was approximately 1/2 of a bottle of water. IP stated they would not get more water if they wanted it, because Perez and Utley did not want them to pee their pants. IP stated that one time he wanted to go to kindergarten but was homeschooled, so he ran away to try to live with his teacher because he wanted to be somewhere more nice. Oh man, this just breaks my heart hearing the other kids of the house talk about just processing what they'd been through. Just be like, I just wanted to go and be somewhere more nice. IP stated that he ran away because Perez and Utley would not give him a lot of water and he was thirsty. In response to running away, IP stated he got in big trouble and he had to eat things he didn't like, which were fish and sauerkraut. He also got beat up by Perez and Utley, and they hit him with a belt to his back so hard. On June 16th of 2024, a forensic interview was conducted with E.P.R, who stated that he lived at the residence in Kapolei with Utley, Perez, and his siblings. E.P.R, the 5-year-old, the one who these two blamed the death of the 3-year-old for, Sarai. They're blaming the 5-year-old, E.P.R, stated that both Perez and Utley disciplined the children by hitting them with a belt on the buttocks, back, and arms. E.P.R believed that the belt was hanging in Perez's closet at the residence. Both Perez and Utley also hit the children with their hands. E.P.R said that Perez would also hit SP all over her body with a slipper. In regards to the day of the incident, E.P.R stated that SP's legs were broken and that she was tired and that SP did not eat for a long time leading up to the incident. When they went to go pick up Utley from the airport, SP was making labored breathing noises and was slouched over in her car seat. When they arrived back at the residence, Perez carried SP into the house and put her on a pillow in the living room. IP observed that SP was dead by the wall in the corner, lying down, and that he observed his sister Sarai was not moving or blinking when Perez laid her on the pillow, and SP's eyes were open. How disturbing is that? That the other kids are around when Sarai was deceased and just placed in the living room with her head on a pillow. Doesn't this case remind you just a tiny little bit of Jamaria Sessions' case? Like what happened to her? Of course, it's slightly different because this was all this mother's children, but it's just they're like going to the airport and the abuse is just so terrible. This is so disturbing. Shame, the poor kids. Imagine one day when they really process all of that, like, wait, what? Like my sister was dead, like literally dead, there in front of us. E.P.R said that SP, oh no, shame, went up to see Jesus and asked if Jesus had food in heaven, because his mother says that Jesus does not have food. So when the kids are asking the mother, when they're trying to process, okay, so my sister died because she was very sick, will she at least have food in heaven? I'm trying not to swear. This thing is like, nah, no, there won't be food there either. Wow. So one more time, E.P.R said that SP went up to see Jesus and asked if Jesus had food in heaven, because his mother says Jesus does not have food. E.P.R further stated that he never punched SP, he only pushed her. With regards to eating and drinking in the house, E.P.R stated that when he got in trouble or grounded, he would not get water. But when he would get water, it would be about half a bottle. E.P.R said that he had been hungry in Perez and Utley's house because Perez would not give him a lot of food. E.P.R, the 5-year-old, further stated that he was homeschooled but could not describe anything that he did at home with regards to schooling. So he had to tell everyone, they forced him to lie, yeah, I'm homeschooled, but then when anyone asked, but what do you do for school? There's no answer, nothing. Stay in my room. On June 19th of 2024, 5 days after Sarai died, E.P.R, IP, and PP were allowed to visit with Utley and Perez. That must have been scary. The next day, on June 20th of 2024, a follow-up forensic interview was conducted with E.P.R. During that interview, E.P.R stated that we don't talk about SP anymore because she dead. You can hear the coaching, can't you? I'm speculating, but you know, they're like, wow, so That was smart, actually, of the cops to be like, go and visit with them. And then you come talk to us again. And to hear the narrative that was now fed to the children, again, I'm speculating in my opinion, the next day they go there and the children say, we don't talk about SP, Sarai, anymore because she dead. E.P.R. also stated that Utley and Perez have no secrets, none, no secrets, except the only secret is that we don't tell our business. Oh my word. He also stated that his older sister lied about sneaking water in the night, and that his mom said that we do not talk about her, but he was not sure why he said that. E.P.R. stated that he has to stay in the room for the whole day, except when his mom says to come eat, then they go outside to eat. But he stated at night he sneaks water. E.P.R. stated that he got grounded because he was sneaking water every night. Shame. A basic need. And for him, it feels like something sneaky and bad, something to feel guilty about. E.P.R. stated that they put PP's laundry, a black gate, and the dog's cage by their room. He, IP, and SP had to stay in their room. E.P.R. stated that Perez also talked to him about SP's death being his fault. These two sat the 5-year-old down and said, it's your fault, by the way. You know your sister died? Yeah, it's your fault. So what I'm speculating could be coaching. You know, you tell the police that we don't have secrets. The only secret is we don't tell our business. Just remember to also throw in there, it's your fault. It's your fault. How terrible. Hey, thank you so much. By the way, thank you all for being here. I wouldn't like to read this alone. I really appreciate you all being here with me. Please like, not because you like the topic, just because you want others to learn about this case so they can follow along with us, and share as well if you can. Okay. So E.P.R., the 5-year-old, stated that Perez, the mother, his own mother, talked to him about his sister's death being his fault. E.P.R. stated that with regards to cameras in his house, there's a camera in the hallway in his house, a camera in the living room, a camera by the lamp inside the kitchen, one outside. So this little boy, he knows things. He's like, there's cameras all over the place. E.P.R. stated that he thinks that Utley bought the cameras and Utley checks the camera from her phone. On June 17th of 2024, your affiant and Detective Mead conducted a digitally recorded interview with Tiffany Teixeira at the Alapai police station. Teixeira is Schnabel's sister, so the grandmother of the children's sister, so the biological aunt of Perez. So Perez's, Janae's, mother's sister. Okay? Teixeira remembered seeing Perez's children at a Christmas party in December of 2023. During that party, Teixeira also recalled that the 3 older kids appeared very skinny and were abnormally hungry and thirsty. Teixeira stated that the 3 older children's demeanor appeared to be more quiet and reserved and were head to toe covered in pajamas and were covered completely. Oh, hiding bruises, I speculate. Teixeira observed that for the majority of the night, E.P.R. sat at the table and ate more than she had ever seen. Teixeira then saw the children again on February 7th of 2024 when Perez, Utley, and the 4 children came to Teixeira's residence for a Valentine's Day party. At the party, and according to Perez, Utley, the girlfriend, according to Perez, had stomach cancer, and the children were all wearing masks. Because that makes sense, right? Like, how does... She's like, by the way, guys, ready to be at this Valentine's party? My girlfriend, though, has stomach cancer, and all the children are wearing masks. Huh. Okay, Teixeira observed Utley to look fine and not sickly at all. Teixeira remembered the 3 older children were skinny and extremely hungry at the party. During the party, Perez constantly corrected the children about the things they were doing. Teixeira remembered the 3 older children ate regular food and then ate about 5 cups of noodles, and Perez told them to stop acting like you're starving. Teixeira stated she'd never seen children that hungry or eat that much in one sitting. Teixeira observed bruising on the 3 older children's legs and asked Perez what the bruising was from. So all of them had bruises. All of them were allegedly abused. All of them were allegedly starved. Okay, so Perez responded by saying that the children fell or they played rough. Teixeira stated that SP was wearing a dress and she noticed bruises to both of SP's shins. After learning about the recent incident where SP died, Teixeira called Perez and asked her what happened to SP. That's Sarai. Perez began to state over and over that she would never starve her kids. Teixeira stated that she had not once brought up starving the children, so she didn't know why Perez was bringing that up. Yeah, red flag. Perez then told several different versions of how Sarai died. The first one being that Sarai choked while eating oatmeal, while Perez was making dinner in the kitchen. Oh, we've got stories now. So she says, oh, Sarai died because she was choking on oats. The second version of SP's death that Perez provided Teixeira was that SP passed out while eating food and that she gave SP CPR and SP threw up while she was giving SP CPR. Now, there's the second story. A short time after MK moved in, remember, MK is the teenage daughter of the girlfriend, Ashleigh Utley. You can see the pictures on screen. I hope it helps. Just the mother and the girlfriend. Okay. So, a short time after the teenage daughter of Ashleigh moved in, Utley put up Roku cameras in the kids' room on the top corner of the wall-mounted TV, in the hallway between the two rooms facing the kids' room, in the living room by the couch on top of a lamp, a rotating camera on top of the microwave in the kitchen, and a camera behind blinds facing outside near the front door window. Cameras literally everywhere. The cameras were monitored by Utley and Perez using Utley's phone and television. In regards to the children being fed, this teenage daughter of the girlfriend, MK, and the kids were limited. So even the teenage daughter staying with them for a bit gets subjected to the same treatment. The kids were limited to 2 boxes of mac and cheese per day. Because of this, MK would not eat much because the other children always said they were hungry. MK would finish whatever SP did not eat. The children would get about 2 inches of water from 1 bottle after each meal. They would sneak out of their room to get a water bottle and drink water. In regards to discipline, Utley and Perez would mainly whack the kids with their hands, but would also hit the children with sticks and paddles. Yes, you heard that right. Sticks and paddles and their hands, and we heard slippers. I mean, it's horrific. The children had to stay in their bed all day and sleep. So how often were they giving out these vitamins to help them sleep? At least once a week. If they slept past dinner time, they would not eat. Oh, wow. So they put them to sleep, and then if they missed dinner time, sorry, you slept through dinner time, you can't get dinner. Wow, you really can barely survive this house. Rosie's overruled, says, love all the Grizzlies. Thank you so much. Now, MK remembered at least 2 times that IP tried to run away. IP was the eldest brother, 6 years old. The first time was sometime in September of 2023 in the morning. MK remembered that Utley and Perez said that they were door dashing, but MK knew they were at a club. MK woke up when she heard IP screaming and crying and the front door aggressively unlocked. Utley said that IP ran away, but Utley and Perez caught him because they were just coming home, so IP hid under a parked car. Utley and Perez saw IP and dragged him upstairs by his ear, trigger warning everyone, and hair. Utley whacked him hard on his legs and back with an open hand, and Perez punched him on his arms and legs because there was no stick nearby. The second time that IP tried to run away was around October 3rd of 2023. MK said she was watching the children but fell asleep. MK woke up because Utley was yelling at IP to open the bathroom door because IP locked himself inside. Utley and Perez finally got in and they dragged IP out by his ear and hair, and Perez and Utley both started beating him. These two both started beating a 6-year-old for running away. Allegedly. Utley used the long stick and screwdriver, and Perez used a short 2x4 to whack him on the legs and arms. What? Now they're grabbing sticks, screwdrivers, a 2x4. Okay. They also hit and punched him on the head. IP was crying and they told him to shut the F up. The other children were in the room watching. Utley held a pedal like a bat. Perez pushed IP, making him off balance, and Utley hit him with a pedal. Wow. I wonder if other inmates will be watching this and knowing what they did to these kids, allegedly. So, it's so much. The other children were in the room watching. Utley held a pedal like a bat. Perez pushed IP, making him off balance, and Utley hit him with a pedal. So they work together by this, what they're saying. MK was in the bathroom when she heard the noise. When she peeked out, MK saw Perez push IP hard. He stumbled to not fall, and Utley hit him with a pedal. IP later told MK that this happened 3 times in a row. First time they hit his head, then his back, and then when MK came out, they hit his shoulder. MK is the teenage daughter of the girlfriend, Ashleigh. MK remembered as time she saw Utley lift up E.P.R by his hair and whack his back, which left a bruise. MK saw E.P.R's bruise because he slept shirtless. Utley dragged E.P.R by his ear into the bedroom, and then she picked him up by the hair and whacked him on the back and flew onto his bed. Utley said, "Stay here, don't get up, or else you're going to get your ass beat." MK remembered that male children were beat almost daily. On June 25th of 2024, Detective Mead obtained a search warrant for all records, including attendance records, reported medical incidents, investigations, and other documents from the 2021 through 2024 school year from IP and E.P.R's elementary school. On June 26th of 2024, your affiant served a search warrant on IP and E.P.R school and recovered IP and E.P.R school records. Detective Mead perused the records and spoke to school officials and found that from January 27th of 2023 through January 16th of 2024, E.P.R had a total of 8 excused absences, 25 unexcused absences, and was tardy 10 times. On E.P.R's student health record, which appeared to be completed in May of 2022 by Dr. Nicole's son, noted that E.P.R weighed 38 pounds at the time of his health assessment, which put E.P.R in the 85th percentile of the body mass index for his age. On IP's student health record, which appeared to be completed in May of 2022 by Dr. Sun, noted that IP weighed 42 pounds at the time of his health assessment, which put IP in the 93rd percentile of the body mass index for his age. Neither child had any disciplinary or behavioral issues that were noted. On July 9th of 2024, your affiant conducted a telephonically recorded interview with Tara Connolly DeSanto, who was E.P.R's teacher from around August 6th of 2023, and she taught E.P.R until January of 2024. DeSanto recalled Perez requesting her to limit E.P.R's water intake throughout the day because E.P.R would wet himself in the car. Perez also told DeSanto that E.P.R would always ask for water, but that DeSanto needed to limit his water intake. DeSanto had never been requested to limit a child's water intake by a child's parents. E.P.R did not return to school after Christmas break, so DeSanto called Perez and inquired. Perez informed DeSanto that E.P.R would be homeschooled because he and IP would always get sick from school. DeSanto did not remember E.P.R being sick other than E.P.R sometimes having a cough. Perez also disclosed that Perez was concerned because Utley had cancer and that the kids would be bringing things home. Can you hear these layered excuses and lies? Just like the teacher saying, well, where are they? Nope, they're going to be homeschooled from now on because we're tired of them bringing germs into the house, especially now that my girlfriend has stomach cancer, which by all accounts, what the police are saying sounds to be something they made up. Okay, deep breaths, everyone. We're on page 21. I told you we're going to read up to about page 28. This is a 150-page document, okay? And most of it, as I say, after that is repeated. After reviewing the recorded statements, Detective Mead observed that none of the family members of the 3 older children never recalled any of the children having learning disabilities, nor did any behavioral problems, with the exception of the youngest, PP. This differs drastically from the statements of Utley and Perez. After reviewing the digital evidence and other physical evidence, as well as reviewing the recorded statements, Detective Mead could find no evidence that Utley ever had any type of cancer during the time of Utley and Perez's relationship. No evidence, no doctor's visits, no diagnoses, nothing. They're just making up that crap, according to the police. After reviewing the digital evidence and recorded statements, as well as any other physical evidence, Detective Mead could not find any evidence that IP and E.P.R were enrolled in any type of homeschooling programs. Now, trigger warning, again, because they're going to detail what happened, to Sarai. On June 14th of 2024, Dr. Masahiko Kobayashi of the Office of the Medical Examiner conducted an autopsy examination on SP, which is Sarai, the victim, who was only 3 years old, okay? Dr. Kobayashi related the cause of death to be combined effects of dehydration and starvation. Dr. Kobayashi noted the following preliminary observations and findings of the autopsy examination of SP. Many contusions in the head and extremities, markedly low body mass index, an extremely atrophic thymus, short stature of 35 inches, low body weight of 20.5 pounds, low body mass index of 11.8, which are all less than the 3rd percentile for her age. These findings indicative of chronic child abuse and neglect. So when they say that they think these two are like, oh, we think that she's got dwarfism, like maybe she's being starved and dehydrated and she's not growing because, you know, like what the hell? And they're just so offensive, just from what the little bit we hear already, just from everything they say, right? Okay, on or about June 14th of 2024, the Office of the Medical Examiner and HPD requested the assistance of Dr. Kayal Natarajan, board-certified child abuse pediatrician, for a consultation regarding the death of SP. The Office of the Medical Examiner provided Dr. Natarajan with relevant medical records for her consultation. This doctor is a medical doctor board certified by the American Board of Pediatrics in General Pediatrics of Child Abuse Pediatrics. She's an attending pediatrician at Queen Emma Clinics and performs child abuse evaluations. So she's qualified to make the assessment. On June 17th, based on the document, 2024, Dr. Natarajan conducted the medical consultation and made the following findings regarding 3-year-old SP. That SP suffered from chronic child physical abuse and neglect, which led to fatal child maltreatment. Dr. Natarajan noted the following injuries to SP, that's why I say trigger warning. Right ear pinner, which has bruising, which is suggestive of inflicted injury by hitting and pinching. A circular bruise on the right cheek, suggesting of grabbing the face with excessive force. A deep scalp hemorrhage, which may be inflicted by blunt force trauma, as it's in the location that SP could not self-inflict by falling down. Several pattern injuries to SP's cheek, buttocks, and legs that are consistent with finger or handprints, which are consistent with high force slapping and forceful grabbing. Ventral left wrist bruising, which is in location that children do not hurt by their own activity, therefore suggestive of inflicted injury. Dorsal left hand bruising in a location indicative of inflicted trauma, not accidental trauma, as well as bruises on the dorsal wrist suggestive of grab marks. Her buttocks had sparring of bruising in a linear fashion along the gluteal cleft, which is indicative of blunt force trauma to the buttocks. The lower spine, 2 circular scars suggestive of rug burn or early ulcers. This is hard to read, so just hold on. Roro, thank you so much. Thank you very much for your sticker. Black Widow says, I can't get my head around this treatment. I know, right? These little kids. Here they said the label findings suggest that SP was denied the use of a toilet and denied genital hygiene access. The extreme malnourishment is suggestive of starvation. On July 3rd of 2024, your affiant received IP, E.P.R, and PP's medical records from their visit to the hospital on June 14th to 15th of 2024. And they said your affiant perused the records and observed that the other kids, E.P.R, was treated by several doctors who noted that E.P.R was grossly underweight as he weighed 30. So let me say it in the American accent, because when I say 30, I'm a South African, people think I'm saying 50. 36 pounds and 13.1 ounces, which put him at the 10th percentile for his body weight for his age. Doctors also noted that E.P.R had bradycardia and a mildly enlarged cardiac silhouette. On June 14th of 2024, the homicide detail detectives canvassed the area of Perez's residence for witnesses and surveillance. Detective Brent Sylvester spoke with a male identified as Charles Miller, who resided at that same complex. Miller provided several screenshots of videos to Detective Sylvester, and the videos depicting Perez holding SP, walking into the parking lot of the property, holding Sarai, who appeared to be motionless. IP, E.P.R, and PP are all walking alongside Perez. And a second video was recovered from Miller depicting Perez returning back to the residence, carrying SP in her arms, and SP is again motionless. These videos appear to be from the date of the incident. So she likely died in the car, is what it sounds like they're saying, on the way to the airport and the way from the airport. On June 14th of 2024 through June 20th of 2024, Detective Thomas Linuma performed forensic extractions of the data of multiple cell phones provided to HPD via consent and obtained in concert with this investigation. Apple iPhone, all these phones, right? And they qualify him as well. And let's just go here. On June 14th of 2024, Detective Wong examined the data contained within the cell phone originally provided by Perez. Although Perez originally gave a phone number as being, Detective Wong found that the phone that Perez had provided on the night of the incident had stated was her phone was now being analyzed at a different phone number as was discovered above. While examining the text messages that had been extracted from this device, see, here's where they also get them. The evidence, right? They say participants labeled as wife, new, owner, with phone number, current device, and babe, now known to originally be Utley's phone number. Caroline says, hello from Sparky the Yorkie and Olivia the Round Talk. Hello to Sparky and Olivia. Thank you so much, Caroline, for being a member for, holy crap, 41 months. Damn. Thank you so much. Now, the aforementioned text thread includes 6,274 messages between the two participants and dated back to December 5th of 2023. While examining the media files that had been extracted from the phone known to belong to Perez, Detective Wong discovered the following images, videos, and files. An image of what appears to be a screenshot from a mobile device showing the view of an interior hallway area of a residence pointing towards the children's bedroom door, which appeared to be partially barricaded. An IP E.P.R are seen standing in the hallway, with IP appearing to have just broken through the barricade. The screenshot appears to have come from a Roku surveillance camera. Metadata from the image indicates it was captured on April 14th of 2024. So here, it's not the most interesting information, but it is showing, so I don't want to read it all to you. You might get bored, I hope not, and I'm going to put this document on Patreon. But it's basically screenshots of when the children are being naughty, breaking through the barricade or getting water or things like that, right? You can pause to read as well if you want to. So they're just showing the barricades, the children's room. They're showing that, yes, you do. They're basically proving you had cameras all over the house. And yet they're lying about that, right? So let's see where I highlighted something here. A video of SP in the back seat. So this is from their cell phone. A video of Sarai in the back seat of a vehicle and SP is crying. SP appears to be in severe discomfort and distress. A voice can be heard which resembles Perez's, her mother, saying, you don't even know what you want. You're just effing crying. You don't even know what you want. You're just crying because you had to pee. Now you're crying because you're thirsty. You don't know what you want. You're just crying for no reason. No, stop crying. Well, you need to stop crying now. Stop it. Stop crying. SP can be saying what appears to be, I'm thirsty. Metadata indicates the video was created on 2/13 of 2024. That would be the 13th of Feb 2024. Wow. A video of E.P.R lying on the floor, the backseat of a vehicle. So they're like videoing this. That's my point. They're in the car. And these idiots are allegedly videoing this and sending it to each other. Why? It's like they get a kick out of it or what? I'm speculating. Scylla, thank you so much. Okay, we're almost done for today. I know we've been here for a while. Thank you so much if you're watching all of this. I really, really appreciate it. So a video saying of E.P.R, that's the 5-year-old lying on the floor at the backseat of a vehicle, and E.P.R appears to be in severe discomfort and distress. E.P.R says, can you please tell Auntie? A voice can be heard which resembles Perez, his own mother's voice, responding, shut up, I did already. E.P.R asks, what did Auntie say? Perez says, hold it. And E.P.R says, hold it? Metadata indicates the video was created on the 15th of April of 2024. So here again, a video again inside a vehicle. However, the screen is blocked for most of the video. E.P.R can be heard in the background moaning and crying. E.P.R sounds to be in severe discomfort and distress. A voice can be heard which resembles Perez's voice yelling, cut it out. The video then shows E.P.R laying on the ground or the back seat of the vehicle crying. E.P.R says, I'm gonna pee my pants. Perez says, stop. I mean, what do they want these children to do? If they need to go to the toilet, let them go to the toilet. What the hell is the problem? Just like, no, you will hold it. What? These are children. Clearly they don't know that. Oh my word. No wonder they are arrested, facing all those charges. A video of E.P.R sitting on the hardwood floor of what appears to be the living room area. E.P.R is sitting cross-legged facing the wall. E.P.R's exposed back shows his spine and rear hip bones protruding from under his skin. Metadata indicates the video was created on the 13th of June of 2024, which is the day that his sister died. Between the days of December 5th, 2023 and June 13th of 2024, Utley and Perez participated in a series of text messages which appear to reference Sarai and her siblings and discussions regarding beating and or disciplining the children. feeding the children, and restricting access to their bodily functions and or bathrooms. Vicky said the breathing the kids describe when in the car sounds like a death rattle. Right, that's so sad. Thank you so much for your sticker. And yeah, it could be. So while going through the data for Perez and Utley's cell phones, Detective Wong observed that neither of the cell phones had access to the Roku application. So now they've got these like cell phones. These are our cell phones, but now suddenly Roku is not part of it, huh? Okay, Detective Mead made checks of the Roku website, which provided information regarding access, a Roku home surveillance system. The website stated in order to gain access to a home surveillance system, a user must install the Roku Smart Home application. So they obviously deleted it. On June 15th of 2024, wait, there was a Tory here. Tory? Sorry, I just want to find the sentence here. So it says, Tory also gave consent to her cell phone to be forensically analyzed by Detective Linmua. They said Tory somewhere above here. Where? Who is it? I just can't see where they reference who that is, but okay. On June 15th, Detective Linmua forensically analyzed Tory's cell phone and provided the data to Detective Wong. Tory also sent Detective Mead the surveillance footage to Utley that Utley had sent to her via Instagram direct message that she spoke about in her recorded interview with your affiant. Detective Mead reviewed the surveillance footage and observed the surveillance footage to have a Roku insignia on the bottom left corner, and it appeared to be the exact same camera angles as the photographs that Detective Wong discovered in Perez's cell phone data. We're almost there. Between the days of December 5th of 2023 and June 13th of 2024, Perez and Utley participated in a series of text messages which appear to reference Sarai and her siblings and instructions for Perez to take specific actions. The instructions to Perez include, so it's like the girlfriends instructing the mother, to include but not limited to the following actions. I guess they mean feeding the children, withholding food and water from the children, threatening the children, and disciplining the children. Between the days of June 7th of 2024 and June 9th of 2024, remember Sarai died on June 13th, Perez and Utley participated in a series of text messages which appear to reference various discussions planning regarding calling CWS on Perez's mother. So they want to retaliate. Like, how does Janae's mother call CWS on them? They're going to call CWS on her. Like, what? But between June 11th of 2024 and June 13th of 2024, Perez and or Utley, while in the same approximately 953 square foot home and while having legal and or physical custody of SP, failed to obtain medical treatment even as SP began to deteriorate rapidly in health. Now remember, if you were here from the beginning, they said it's because it's a waste of time. They didn't take it to the hospital because that's just a waste of time. The Pam Pepper said these cases are so hard. Thanks for covering this, Gizzler. Hi, mods and fellow Grizzlies. Everyone leave your DNA on the like button. Thank you, the Pam Pepper, and for being a member for 27 months. Okay, so on the afternoon to the evening of June 16th of 2024, Utley and Perez, both of whom had legal custody and or had physical custody of SP, failed to obtain medical treatment for SP, I think they mean June 13th, for specific conditions including but not limited to the bruising to SP's body and or the lack of nutrition and or the lack of water. In the evening of June 13th of 2024, Perez and Utley participated in giving EMS and HFD workers an inaccurate account of what happened to SP and the true nature of her condition, despite knowing that they were not feeding her properly or giving her an appropriate amount of water. Perez and Utley failed to obtain regular care for Sarai and her siblings, of course, when she passed away, and or treatment for specific conditions, including but not limited to the lack of nutrition and injuries to her body on June 13th of 2024. A review of recovered text messages between, that was actually not meant to be highlighted, it was meant to be redacted. Sorry about that. Okay. This is public record, YouTube. I'm not sharing anything that I'm not allowed to share. Okay, it's directly from the court. A review of the recovered text messages between Perez and Utley demonstrate agreements and plans regarding the purchase of various foods and eating at restaurants. The residents on that loop on June 13th possessed a sufficient food supply to feed many people. It's kind of like, remember the Ruby Frankie case? Oh my word. The cupboards were stocked. Remember that? I've got videos on that case if you haven't seen it before. So from June 13th of 2024 to June 17th, Perez and Utley have persisted in the same narrative about Sarai. The narrative consists of statements that E.P.R is to blame because he has behavioral issues, but that nonetheless he, IP and SB, were treated well. Now, the above referenced events occurred in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, based on the facts and circumstances and positive identification of Janae Perez and Ashleigh Utley. Probable cause exists for the arrest of Janae Perez and Ashleigh Utley for murder in the second degree, kidnapping, attempted assault in the first degree, hindering in the first degree, conspiracy to commit kidnapping. And so I agree. I think there's probable cause. Now, there's one more thing I just quickly want to show you here. Even though it's getting a little bit long now, I just want to show you this one. Yeah, did neighbors hear or see anything was my question. And I found this clip over here. Let's just resize it for us. Okay.
I remember hearing them multiple times just cry upstairs, and that's it.
Neighbors of toddler Sarai Perez Rivera and her 3 siblings never really saw the children until the night of her death.
I saw them all just sitting right here, actually, and I didn't realize how many kids were actually up above me. Some of them were crying, some of them didn't really know what was going on.
And now the kids' mother Janae Perez and her girlfriend Ashleigh Utley are facing murder and other charges related to child abuse and neglect.
First responders found Sarai malnourished and pulseless, with ashen skin and bruises to her legs, hips, arms, face, back, and head.
This is the home where authorities say 3-year-old Sarai Perez Rivera was killed at the hands of her own mother. Honolulu Police describing the torture she and her siblings endured. Her siblings 6 and under are now in protective custody. Authorities say the children were not allowed to eat often and only could drink 8 ounces of water a day.
There was also disturbing video of Sarai crying and in severe discomfort and distress, saying that she had to use the bathroom and that she was thirsty. In response, Janae repeatedly yelled and swore at her.
8 ounces of water is 236 milliliters, for those wondering.
When officers found Sarai, they say Janae blamed her 5-year-old son for her death, telling him it was his fault.
Janae and Ashleigh would primarily hit the children with their hands, sticks, paddles, slippers, and belts to all parts of their body.
Sarai's death is determined to be from the combined effects of dehydration and starvation.
Just pure sadness, and I hope that she gets the justice that she needs. And the other children, I hope that they're taken care of now.
Kristen Concilio.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, otherwise we will be here forever. There's so much, of course, to discuss. We can always meet again. I will link any of the other clips that I thought maybe I could show you. I'm going to link them in the description box. And as I said, I'm going to post the full document, which is 150 pages long. But some of that PCA is repeated, looks like about 4 times. So I'm going to post that on Patreon. It'll be available on the post I made today that notified all of you about this upcoming live stream. So it's on the free tier and on all the tiers. Thank you to everyone who signed up to support me over there. It really means a lot to me. So, but if you just want to sign up for free, you can access that document and get notifications as well. Molly Goodspeed, thank you so much. So that was tough, right? That was, oh man, that's just so sad hearing what happened to these children and just hearing how the other siblings are processing this, and shame, man. I feel so sorry for them. I hope that they are okay. They are apparently in the care of CPS right now, and hopefully their grandmother can take care of them, because it really sounds like she really cared about them and she was trying to alert authorities to what she suspected was going on, and now her worst fears have come true. Mia Camilla Roy, did I say that right? You said, like Shanda van der Ark, she videoed her son and starved him to death. Yeah, unfortunately, there's so many cases like that. It's like Jamaria Sessions as well that we were saying, and there's so many of these child abuse cases as well where, I mean, we just looked at a victim that was held captive for 20 years. Whoa, that was quite something. I don't think anything was filmed from what we know so far, but still the starvation and the neglect and everything was so hectic. And then these cases of child abuse where this toilet thing is such a problem, like Harmony Renee or Harmony Montgomery. What? Like, oh my goodness. So I really hope that there will be justice for Sarai. And I will keep you posted on this case because I've been keeping a close eye on it. As I say, I didn't have a chance to talk about this. I've wanted to for at least 2 weeks now. Just like, okay, but you know, there's lots of cases we've been discussing. So I'm glad that we could finally go through it today in detail. If you missed any of it or the beginning, I hope you'll check it out again. And thank you, mods. Thank you, patrons, members, subscribers, any locals as well. If you want to send me an email, my email is grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. If you have any information or extra things to share, I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. In the meantime, stay safe.